Oh, what about you? You're very welcome indeed. Now, if you would like to join my little Patreon gathering, you can do so by going to that link up there and you'll get the full thing at the start of the week rather than bits and pieces during the week and other bits and pieces, as I say. And thank you again to all the people who support this. Now, the court case in Dublin brought by Gerry Adams accusing the BBC of defamation has ended. And last week I thought Gerry was taking a chance. I thought Gerry was taking an L, throw of the dice. But here's the strange thing. While all the focus has been on Gerry Adams, the reality is it wasn't him in the dock, but the BBC, over its reporting and accusation that he had given the order to kill British spy Dennis Donaldson. Now, and it's the BBC, would you believe it, who's been found wanting after Adams walked away with 84,000 quid in his back pocket in damages, having been vindicated in his claim that he was defamed in a BBC Northern Ireland Spotlight programme broadcast in 2016 and an accompanying online article in which an anonymous, who knows, contributor alleged he sanctioned the 2006 murder of Dennis Donaldson. Now, outside court after his win, Mr. Adams had this to say.
From my perspective, taking this case was about putting manners on the British Broadcasting Corporation. I know many journalists. I like to think that I get on well with the most of them. And I wish you well, and I would uphold your right to do your job. But the British Broadcasting Corporation upholds the ethos of the British state in Ireland. And in my view, it's out of sync in many fronts with the Good Friday Agreement. It hasn't caught on to where we are on this island as part of the process, the continuing process of building peace and justice and harmony and hopefully in the time ahead, unity. I'm very mindful that this case could have been settled. The licence payers are going to pay for this. You know, the BBC aren't using their own money. Spotlight aren't using their own money. It's the licence payers, and as Paul Tweed has said, this could have been sorted out a long time ago.
I brought this case to put manners on the British Broadcasting Corporation. It's hard to stress just how black an eye this is for BBC NI, not only journalistically, but also financially. They now face a legal bill, right? A legal bill thought to be somewhere between 2.5 to 4 million. It's believed this could be one of the most expensive cases the corporation has ever faced. Adam Smith, director of BBC NI, did his best to cover the corporation's financial loss, saying, of course, a case of this importance, duration and complexity involves a significant expense. In common with other media organisations, the BBC has insurance and makes financial provision for ongoing anticipated legal claims. All very well, Mr. Smith, but you can be damn sure your insurance premiums will be jumped significantly after this disastrous incident. And who picks up that bill, Mr. Smith? Licence payers. Mr. Smith went on to say that his legal team had warned the jury that their decision in this high-profile case could hinder freedom of expression. And I have a problem with that. I do not deny this decision will indeed hinder freedom of expression, but only because the Spotlight programme, a programme which most people, including myself, have always held in the highest esteem, plainly bulged up big time. And because of their monumental misjudgment, BBC journalists will now be forced to double and treble and quadruple check every bit of reporting they do. This will undoubtedly leave what has always been the jewel of BBC NI's broadcasting, namely its current affairs and news gathering departments, effectively neutered. Such will be BBC hierarchy's reluctance to take any risks. But what I find utterly baffling is how nobody saw that accusing someone, right, of being involved in a murder based on anonymous sources, which could neither be checked nor validated, would inevitably come a cropper when faced with a legal challenge. To put this in context, the Spotlight programme may as well have argued, listen, hold on here, right?
I was in the pub, right? I was in the pub and I was talking to this guy. This guy, I know this guy. This guy's a good guy. I was talking to this guy, good guy. He knows a guy, right? Who knew a guy, right? Who says Adams done it.
Seriously. And when asked for the name of any of the guys involved, well, the BBC's defence was, we couldn't possibly name them because doing so could put them in danger and be a breach of journalistic sources. Please. This made a joke of good journalism and a joke of the confidentiality of journalistic sources. If you're going to accuse a man of murder, you must have cast iron proof of that accusation. Like a demonstration of just how weak the BBC case came when during the court case, their legal team put up a picture. Remember that? There's that famous picture of Adams in the balaclava. The beret. He was in the beret, right? Adams in the old days walking with a beret. And the BBC legal team put it to Mr. Adams. What do you say about that? To which Adams replied that it made him a wee bit embarrassed as he thought it made him look like Michael Crawford from the sitcom Some Mothers Do Have Him. This resulted in much hilarity around the court and giggles. Now, the 11-person jury were not amused, and they were very unimpressed by the BBC case and came to their decision after only 6 hours and 49 minutes of deliberations. They pointed out that the words used in the programme and the accompanying article meant Mr. Anston that he sanctioned and approved Mr. Donaldson's murder. They further found the BBC did not report the allegations in good faith. Now, another thread to this whole case was the assertion by Gerry Adams that the BBC had refused to settle and insisted on dragging out this court battle due to what he said were outside influences, which of course we know in Sinn Féin terms is
The Brits are at it again.
This referred to another case Adams won relating to his internment, with the High Court in London deciding his incarceration had been illegal and that he was due compensation. Now, the British government has been adamant they have no intention of paying any such compensation. So the suspicion is that the same government put pressure on BBC NI to press on with this case in the hope that if Adams lost in Dublin, they would have some sort of cover in their continued refusal to pay him compensation. Where the truth lies is no doubt buried in top secret files not to be opened until the year 2150. But I have to be fair here and admit that not once in the decade I personally worked in BBC NI did I experience any bias towards either section of our society. I, as a political satirist and a mixer, as we call it here, I was allowed to say what I wanted, even when what I was saying would have no doubt caused some difficulties for BBC NI. So I cannot accept Mr. Adams' assertion that BBC NI is in some way the handmaiden of British imperialism in Northern Ireland. Now, but what I am sure of is this. Following this case, it will be a very, very long time before any BBC NI journalist dares to mention Gerry Adams' name again. Another thing I'm sadly pretty sure of is that nobody within the BBC NI will be held accountable for this disaster, even though millions in licence payers' fees have been squandered and irreparable damage done to the good name of BBC journalism. I ask the question yet again, why is it that in the public sector anything goes, with no accountability or punishment for incompetence and ineptitude? Such impunity to consequences means that no lessons will be learnt and similar mistakes can occur again and again. And who knows, boys and girls, if BBC NI had not squandered millions on this court case, they could have kept open their very popular radio foil station. Easily.
You'll do nothing. You hear me? You'll do nothing.